An upset alert shouldn't be necessary to make the top-seeded teams in the NFL playoffs aware of the imminent threat facing them this weekend. 3 of the 4 outfits that advanced from last week's wildcard round, after all, did so on the road. And only once this decade, in 2015, have the top 2 seeds on each side advanced to the conference championship games. But while this weekend's traveling teams collectively posted a 18-14 mark as visitors this season, the foursome of teams hosting after a first-round bye, the Kansas City Chiefs, New England Patriots, New Orleans Saints and Los Angeles Rams, combined for a 28-4 record at home. In light of that, we asked our NFL experts which team coming off a first-round bye is at the biggest risk of falling in a divisional round upset. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, 15, reacts after a play against the Oakland Raiders at Arrowhead Stadium. Photo, Jay Biggerstaff, USA Today Sports. Nancy R. Maury loved Patrick Mahomes and everything he's done for the Chiefs this season, and would like to think he's going to be the one to end Kansas City's long history of playoff heartbreak. Especially against the Indianapolis Colts. But until it actually happens, I can't ignore the karma. Kansas City has lost 10 of its last 11 playoff games. That one victory came against Brian Hoyer and the Houston Texans, and a 0-4 against Indianapolis in the postseason. That includes the most crushing loss of all, the 2013 wildcard game in which Kansas City blew a 28-point lead and lost 45-44. Mahomes and Andy Reid have said all the right things this week, but I'm going to have to see it to believe it. The Chiefs. After watching all 3 quarterbacks who made their playoff debuts last weekend lose, that's not a good omen for projected MVP Patrick Mahomes. No, the NFL record 6 consecutive playoff home losses by KC isn't on Mahomes, that who wasn't even born the last time the home team won in the playoffs at Arrowhead. But there's just something spooky about that. Ad-capped. Andrew Luck may be carving up a suspect Chiefs defense, and I think we might see this no. 1 seed bite the dust. Of course, Mr. 50 touchdowns has spent an entire season proving doubters wrong. And on a personal note, Andy Reid has made me look foolish multiple times when picking against him. But to borrow phrasing from my former colleague, Gordon Forbes, I just can't shake the feeling KC's season is about to be BQ'd. Nate Davis. Maybe the question for the bye-week playoff teams should be, who's not at risk? All of them feel fairly vulnerable to me with the exception of New Orleans. But maybe the Rams are in the most jeopardy. Their home game threatens to be overrun by Cowboys fans and a team that seems well-equipped to pull off the upset at the LA Coliseum, where the Rams lost their wild-card contest to the Falcons a year ago. Dallas just locked down Seattle's top-ranked ground game and will next face Todd Gurley, who's probably going to be less than 100% after a knee issue forced him to miss 2 games. More worrisome, as much talent as the Rams' defense has, it surrendered a league-worst 5.1 yards per carry, and is now tasked with slowing league rushing champ Zeke Elliott and highly mobile QB Dak Prescott. Gulp. Yuri Epstein. The Rams. Cowboys' top 5 run D is riding momentum after holding the Seahawks 160 yards per game in the regular season, to 73 in a wild-card win. Rams All-Pro running back Todd Gurley, on the other hand, is returning from nearly a month on the sideline with knee inflammation and soreness. Dallas will have its handful containing an offense that's averaged 37.1 points at their home Coliseum. Dak Prescott, too, must take care not to turn over the ball. But if the team follows the blueprint it used to hold the ball 940 more than the Seahawks last week, Ezekiel Elliott can capitalize on a Rams defense allowing a league-worst 5.1 yards per carry. Add in the star-studded Cowboys fans expected to line the Coliseum. Dallas upsets a young LA offense to reach its first NFC Championship game in 23 years. Mike Jones. I'm going to say the Kansas City Chiefs. Their offense just hasn't been quite the same since losing Kareem Hunt, and their defensive shortcomings are well documented. Meanwhile, they're facing one of the most well-rounded, and underrated, teams in the postseason. The Colts of course have Andrew Luck, and his experience could give him an edge over counterpart Patrick Mahomes, but they can also run the ball effectively, and they have a very good defense. Even though they're playing at home, I think the Chiefs have a very strong chance of being upset this weekend. Michael Middlehurst Schwartz going against the one NFL team that went 8-0 at home this year seems foolhardy, and Tom Brady is still undefeated, 7-0, against Philip Rivers. But these aren't the Patriots or Chargers teams of old, with Josh Gordon suspended indefinitely and Rob Gronkowski not up to his play of years past. The Patriots are putting a lot on the plate of their quarterback, who posted the lowest passer rating, 97.7, of his last 4 seasons and has off at times. The Chargers, meanwhile, shape up as arguably the AFC's most balanced and versatile outfit. Anthony Lynn's group also has a 7-1 away record but actually boasts a 9-0 mark in games played outside of Los Angeles. If New England doesn't establish an early lead and dictate the tone, it could find itself in for a battle against an underdog that actually finished with a superior record. Lorenzo Reyes admittedly, everything in my mind is telling me this is the wrong choice, but I can't shake a gut feeling that the Chargers are going to head to Foxborough and topple the Patriots. Because LA's game plan in the wild-card round against the Ravens was so innovative, they used 7 defensive backs on all but one of their defensive snaps to match Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson's speed. I expect the Chargers to come up with something to neutralize New England's passing game, especially with throws to running backs. Also, the Los Angeles pass rush has been ascending, and if it can pressure Brady, especially up the middle, the New England defense may struggle. As long as Philip Rivers and Melvin Gordon keep moving the ball, I think the Chargers will put up enough points to win.